gave up baseball for a second. Almost had a mini heart attack.
I was excited.
Yeah, I just want to know which side I'm gonna lose all my money on day one. Always max center day one on some dumb contest and then go from there. What's up, guys? Happy Thursday, right? Yeah. March 31st, 2022. It is the final day of the month of March. Josh, man, that month kind of, I'm not going to say flew by. It actually felt long AF because waiting on baseball is forever. So
I'm still in denial.
You just want it to be March forever? To be basketball every day of the year?
Yep. Is next week the last full week?
I believe April's. I think it's almost amazing how the last NBA regular season.
I think it's April 7th, right?
Yeah, I think this is like almost symmetrical. I think.
It's coconut shavings.
Coconut shavings.
Is it next Friday? Is the last full slate?
NBA playoff season, maybe.
I'm about to get really depressed.
Why?
Are we still gonna do playoff for the first round?
Yeah. So this year with like freaking 20 teams in the playoffs, I think we could probably still do some content for at least the first week or two.
I just wonder how they with the props, they're probably not gonna combine games that are that far apart, I assume.
No, but there should be plenty of it could be 5 game slates every day. It could be, right?
Yeah.
At least for the first I don't know actually, because the play-ins are gonna it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So maybe it wouldn't be as fruitful for props, but I mean we'll play it by ear. Obviously, game to be there. I'm gonna have tons of MLB content as well. Maybe we combine the MLB props with NBA props.
I like it.
Some strikeout props, LeBron James rebound props. Wait, LeBron James not gonna. Never mind. I'm not gonna be there. Magic Johnson. Oh man, what's up, chat? Shout out to you guys. Already chilling. Exit screaming. AOD. Stephen Leibowitz. Skimmer 930. Corey. What's up, Corey? That is how we do it. Mock Wall says this is the best part of my day, but don't tell my wife I said that. Okay. All right, let's go. I said, bleh. Matt. What up, Matt? Mia Moore in chat. Team Underground. Patient Hands. Sean Drake. Blocks me. Josh the Mad Scientist. You already know. It's Yours Day. Ooh, I like that. Happy Yours Day. All right. Okay, we could do a lot. We could do Sat Your Day. Huh? No, okay. Josh is a statue. He didn't react to either one of those.
I was reading an article. Sorry.
Of course, says Josh, you're not on your baseball steez. A mad scientist like you should go nuts for baseball stats.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, I told Josh the other day. I was like, bro, you got a fancy mic. You got all these lights. All of the lights. And he like. The way I met you is like you were watching a lot of content, but every day you'd be all up in the bomb detector.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna make Josh's brain somehow work for us. It's gonna happen. Josh made 420 yesterday. I just a clutch 2-pick. Yo, shout out to Matt. Matt was like, "I'm gonna bet the rest of my money. Give me 2 picks." It was after lock, and it hit it too. And then he won $420. So
That's awesome.
blaze it. Four at best after the play-ins. Four at best. Okay, 4 games at best after the play-ins. All right. I mean, that's still enough that maybe we shop. I do think in the playoffs, there's going to be a lot of juice stuff after at least the first game, maybe the second game, just because of the playoffs. It's a lot of big minutes for starters, 40 minutes for some of these starting rotations. So it'll be fun. We'll definitely go after, or at least make a valiant effort in the first round. And if it's not there, you know me, I don't like to force content if it's content for the sake of being content, and I got plenty of baseball content too, so won't force it. But if it's there, we'll try and make it happen. You know me, still the same OG, but I've been high key. What up, Eric? About to head out. Let's go. J. Cole, big money vibe. Let's go. What up, Sheriff? Josh, try and bring that enthusiasm for baseball down a little. Yeah. Hey, chat, check this out. You won't be able to see it, I don't think. We're 600. We're 6,993 subs. So 7 subs away from 7K. The goal was to hit 7K by April 1st. And we came right down to the wire. And we just might do it. So we need 7 subs between today and tomorrow. No, today and tonight and midnight. So if you're out there lurking, you ain't hit that sub button, man. Make it special, man. Let's hit a goal. You're going to be doing an MLB show? Me, Jordan? Yes. So if by chance you guys don't know, MLB is my thing. And now if you don't know, now you know, all right? MLB, I hit a little different, all right? But yes, I do have a lot of MLB content. Now, I will say this. If you hear from a prop betting standpoint, MLB for prop betting is going to be extremely variable. The props that they're going to offer is like hits plus walks. I like the pitcher strikeouts. I think we can get behind that. But it's the highest variance sport in all of the world, right? Hitters batting 300 or the elite of the elite. So it's going to be a lot more volatility, I guess, than baseball. But we're still going to go at it. We're still going to have content, and I'm going to have tons of it. So stick around, right? Are flex plays ever a good idea? They're always a good idea. They're almost the only thing I do, even though Josh doesn't. I'm a flexer, man. But yes, for me they're a good idea. I'll say I'll never like 2-pick flex. That's some hoe stuff, right? But I usually do a 5-pick flex, and then I'll 2-pick power all of the 5s that are in there, assuming that all of those picks aren't on the same team, right? About how many people are in the Discord? What up, Alex? How many people are in the free Discord? I'll pull this up and look at it. By the way, if you're out there, you're not in the free Discord. Get in the free Discord. It's literally free. Why wouldn't you want to do it? So let's see. There's 2 admins. There's 2 mods. That's 4. There's 36 online. That's 40. And then there's 240. Holy crap! So almost 300 people in the free Discord. In the premium Discord, it's a little bit more inclusive because all these people paid to get in here. And it looks like there's a little over 60, maybe 70 people in the premium one. So good numbers, I think so. Good numbers. Big flexing, yes, sir. When you get a wet noodle for an arm, you got a wet noodle. What? I'm so confused. Anyway, we got 5 games of NBA tonight. So we're going to peruse through the options out here. Looking at the board, Sixers at Pistons, 9.5-point spread. Cavs at the Hawks, 6-point spread. Bucks at the Nets. As Josh would say, this is the game. 2-point spread, 243 total. That's a big one. The Bulls hosting the Clippers, just a 2-point spread there. And the Jazz hosting the Lakers, 13.5-point spread. So I think it looked a little different. Now we only got 1 double-digit spread. Obviously, there's still blow-up potential in this Pistons game, but it could have been worse, right? Gunn, you should be in Dallas this week. I won't be in Dallas, but we'll be watching from the couch, man. Wrestling shows are a little different when it's that many people. But yeah, you like this slate, Josh?
I think it's not bad for a small 5-game slate. And I think this Nets, which we'll get to, this Nets Bucks game, it could be a preview to what we can maybe expect for playoff props? Maybe a little bit, juiced a little bit more since the minutes will probably be slightly above what they will be today.
All right. Well, looks like a full-strength Pistons team taking on a relatively full-strength or Sixers or full-strength Sixers team taking on a relatively full-strength Pistons team, with their blemish being no Jeremy Grant. In his absence, Marvin Bagley stepped into the starting lineup, and we've been seeing decent minutes out of Isaiah Stewart, Bagley, Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham, even. I'm gonna say surprisingly, but as some other teams maybe aren't giving deep minutes to their best players in the interest of losing, Cade Cunningham's been out there running minutes, running point, getting reps. And this is a team, you touched on the first look, we've discussed the last couple of Piston slates. They're often in lopsided spreads, and they kind of stick around, man. They kind of put up their dukes and hang in there. So the hope is that they could somehow hang into this one. Certainly, we all concede that it could get very lopsided very quickly. But if it doesn't, Cade Cunningham would probably be a big part in why it didn't. And then the other thing to watch out here for is we talk about how the Pistons have been pretty foul heavy. And this is a Sixers team featuring two of the greatest foul drawers, maybe in the history of sports, but definitely in the league right now. So let's pop open the PrizePicks board, and let's start with the 76ers side, Josh. We got a couple props up. Joel Embiid, all of his options are out there. 31 real points for him, 55 fantasy points, 45.5 PRA, 8.5 free throws.
What?
Was it at 7 earlier?
No, it's below 9. I mean, he's been all the way up to 11 before.
Yeah. Oh, so
10.5.
it's too low is what that was. I thought it was one of those. Oh,
Sorry.
it went up to 8.
No. This is the first time I've looked at the board since last night. So
Okay.
catching up.
All right.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty low.
So your whole go with your gut speech just
Yeah.
guess we're going Embiid rebounds. Embiid free throws. Why can't I talk today? Harden is at just 21.5 points for his prop. 9.5 assists, 7 rebounds, a 46 fantasy point projection. Josh, are you sitting down for this one?
Yeah.
8 free throws for
Wow.
Harden.
Okay, so we got opposite trend here. We got Embiid going down in free throws and Harden going up. Harden was usually he was stuck at 7 for like the longest time, so he got a full boost. Yeah, I mean, don't you feel like it's a coin flip between them because they just both draw fouls so much that I guess if you had to choose, I mean, it makes sense to go with the bigger guy.
Yeah, I would probably go Embiid because I do
Yeah.
put foul trouble on Isaiah Stewart and Marvin Bagley. We saw that in the very last game. So I would
agree.
probably lean Embiid.
But I mean, those guards foul a lot too. I mean, they all foul, but like Kojo and Killian, they foul a lot.
Is there a way we can narrow this down? Give me a second.
Yeah.
Let's
This
see.
is important.
Most fouls per game on Pistons this season. Here we go. Can we do fouls for 36? That's probably
I like that.
That's probably more inclusive. All right, so Isaiah Stewart, 5.4 fouls per 36. Cade Cunningham, 5.17. So, Red Rover. Killian Hayes, 4.6. Corey Joseph. Yeah, your guards are out here hacking just as much. Marvin Bagley, just 1.14, which it doesn't feel like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
That
doesn't.
last game, yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that they're both heavily. Everyone's in a good foul spot, and Harden definitely can drive to the rack and get the big man in trouble too. So, if we want to get stuck on betting free throws here, I think they're both live. What else is live is Tobias Harris, man. Somebody in the Discord asked the question that I was thinking is we were talking about Tobias Harris, and you said he carved out a new role in this offense.
Yep.
And
Yep.
on a previous video, we talked about that play that they've been running where Tobias is in the high post. The 2.5 assists for Tobias Harris felt like something we might need to talk about. At best, it would only ever get to like a fringe play, but it was something that at least was on my mind. And then 16.5 points on Maxey. I guess how are we approaching this? Are you playing the full game? Or are you chopping it in half? And what sticks out to you on the Sixer side?
I'm gonna play the full game. I'm just hoping the 76ers have just not been putting up that many points, and they've been involved with low scoring games. So I think the Pistons can hopefully hang in there till the fourth quarter. Um, and I'm thinking like since these lines are so juiced for Embiid and Harden, for their Harden's point total is actually not has gone down, but his fantasy point is still at 46, and then yeah, Embiid's at his usual 55, and then 31 real points that went up from yesterday. So I'm thinking we try to just target either the free throws or the rebound, and that's what I'm debating between for both of them.
For who? Embiid?
Harden and Embiid, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I might just get exposure to both, and then maybe breaking down some more of their recent games, I can have a better grasp on which one I like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean Detroit's just really bad at rebounding. They're one of the worst. So, I mean obviously I don't want to play both of them for rebound props in the same card. But I like the rebounds a lot in this matchup too, and you don't have to worry about refs, officials calling fouls for those.
So
Um,
I'll say this as a point. Harden has a 7.5 line at most books right now, and it's pretty. I guess it is juice for the under. It's not like massive. It's like minus 131, minus 140. So, it is. It did open up, or it's at 7 on PrizePicks right now. So, I guess the sharp move is to take the over right now, but it doesn't look like that's at jeopardy to go up because it looks like the public is betting under 7.5. But I also think that the casual bettor is probably expecting this game to not stay close.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah. So, man, I now that they juice Harden's free throw prop, I'm probably gonna lean Harden. Okay, that helped a little bit with my decision making. I'll probably lean Harden 7 rebound, and then I will lean Embiid free throw for right now. And then for Tobias, yeah, let's talk about Tobias. This is a crucial spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got him coming back to Detroit. You got that narrative, and you got this like so. Oh, so I've been looking at the rotations and then reading some articles on this, and actually was like, you can go on NBA League Pass and you can click on certain plays and it'll
Yeah.
like replay that play for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to see what was going on with the assist that he was getting recently, and making sure that it was that similar style playing, like who was on the court. And he's getting a lot of these assists in that second quarter stint when Harden goes to the bench, and it's him and Maxey and Embiid. And this makes sense, because Harden distributors off the court. But that's about 5 minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And then other than that, he doesn't really get any more run without Harden. But I will say this: the 76ers came out and they said, and you can go back and you can go look through their rotation logs. They're trying so many different units right now. Like they're doing like 4 different rotations, changing it up every game. They want to see. They just don't know what will work for playoffs. They're trying to find that like sweet spot for the rotation for the playoffs, and you'll see guys like Gorgeous Yang. He'll close the fourth in some games, and then you'll see the next game Danny Green will close, and then Shake Milton will get more run. So it's really that makes things a little bit tricky. I will note though that Shake Milton, the last time that they played the Pistons, he really did a good job on Sadiq Bey and shut him down. So I might think that he gets a little more run. Maybe that lowers the minutes for maybe Danny Green or Yang. Yes, I mean if that happens, I mean we want shooters around Tobias if we want to take this assist prop.
Yeah. So
and-
let's interject there. It sounds like at best we're going to be uncertain. How about Tobias Harris fantasy points? I came away with a 35.4 fantasy point projection on 35 minutes. That's hoping we get a full run here. And they're at 29, so I can get a 6-point gap. And I mean, all of the other pluses that we're taking here in benefit of Harden, like rebounds and we can get a little of those assists involved. And it just seems like, after that first week or so of Harden being on the team, Tobias seemed like he was completely irrelevant. Lately, it hasn't been the case. Double-digit shot attempts in 4 or 5 games in a row, plus plenty of peripherals. So it definitely looks like he hit a switch. And he's much more active.
Yeah, Embiid, I think, hit that. Based on the article I was reading, it said Embiid told him to shoot more. He's like, you got to shoot more. Because I think he was just, he was just getting rid of the ball and not being aggressive at all. And so I think they kind of got into his head and tried to get him motivated. So it makes sense. And I mean, and if you believe in narrative, he should be even more motivated today back in Detroit.
I'm coming home. All right, so I'm going to make the list. You know what happens? Tobias Harris fantasy points. I'm going to put that under the fringe question mark column.
It's a sharp call because he could fall into some boards here with the Pistons being so bad at rebounding, and then maybe a couple assists and then rack up the points. I like it.
Okay. Are you really gonna bet James Harden rebounds at 8 or 7? I guess.
It's against my motto. I don't like targeting guards.
I feel like you did it last night with Kevin Porter Jr. and he did the most. And now today, I don't know. I feel like Harden rebounds it's just so not Josh. It's just so not Josh.
But I want exposure on the rebound side against the Pistons. That's for sure.
Well, I also have 52 fantasy points.
All right, you're right. Let's go Harden real points.
Real points, 21.5. Okay.
It's low. Man. It's low.
It is kind of low, yeah. All right, so we'll type that down here. I feel like we're gonna like another game more than this one. Real points, and then what do we do for Embiid? Is that your rebound exposure, or free throws?
I would say free throws or rebound. Yeah, either one.
Okay. You know how we love trend research, right? He's cleared 8.5 once in his last 5.
Oh, free throws?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's left a few on the table recently. That's just natural, fluctuation of free throw shooting.
All right.
Yeah, last game he left 2 on the table, and the game before that he left 4. He shot 8 of 12.
I'll throw rebounds on the fringe. So right now I'm putting all this at fringe. I think we're gonna like the Cavs and Hawks game a little bit better. I think we're gonna like the Bucks game
I agree.
A little better.
Yeah, this I would say like this. The matchup is perfect, but the variance is high, right?
Yes.
So they might cancel each other out, and they might just end up getting there, or they might just fall just short. So, yeah, that makes it mid tier for sure.
All right, let's. Oh shoot, I did this wrong, didn't I? No, I didn't. Let's go look at the Pistons side here, and the main one I wanted to talk to you about was Cade Cunningham assists.
Yeah.
So since the All-Star break, Cade Cunningham, especially without Jeremy Grant on the court, has sustained a 32% assist rate. He was, cruising last game for this goal against the Nets, but he lost almost the entire second quarter. So his 32 minutes, and if you look at the recent games for Cade Cunningham, I'll pull that up on DraftKings. Recent games 37, 35, 35, 36. So you can make a case that he left 5 minutes on the table by missing essentially the whole second quarter. And then when he came back in, he kind of picked up where he left off, and he finished with 6 assists. So today his line is at 6.5, and he still holds his 32% assist rate. And I don't know. I think that's going to be something that I put in a blender down there at the bottom as a prop to target today. Do you agree with that? Do you want to target any of these Pistons for their lines? I saw someone in chat, my boy Exec Scream, and said Isaiah Stewart first half over 5 real points, and that's intriguing. The other night we saw him pull up from 3 a couple times. I was like, he can do that?
Back to back threes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry. What was the thing you
So
said before that?
thoughts on Cade Cunningham 6.5 assists?
Yeah, I like it. I'm surprised that it wasn't. I thought it was gonna open at 7 today. And
Okay.
it might go up to that because I'm sure it's gonna be popular. No, I like it. And another reason that he didn't clear that 6 assists last time was not only the foul trouble or the going to the locker room, but Bagley got in foul trouble. And if you go and look at the games, like a lot of his assists are coming to dump downs to Bagley. So
All right, so we're gonna do Cade Cunningham 6.5 assists there. Booyaka. Anything else on the Pistons you want to touch here? Sadiq Bey's at 16.5 points. You mentioned last time Shake Milton
yeah,
had
he
some
did.
success there. Isaiah Stewart is one of those intriguing options if he could stay out of trouble, which is easier said than done. Which against Embiid, we just talked about how Isaiah Stewart leads the team in fouls per 36. That's a problem.
That is a
So
problem.
I kind of don't want to get there, but they did tempt us with some low lines, right? 25 fantasy points. I came away with like a 28 fantasy point projection. I guess that's fair because I don't expect him to be able to last too long. But they also gave us a 9.5 full game point prop, and then in the first half, 5 points, which they are really taxing the first half on some of these point props here. But yeah, anything else on the Pistons side that you might dabble with? It's okay to say no.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the bigs are intriguing, but the foul trouble just makes me want to stay away.
Okay, that's fair. All right, let's move on to the next game here. It's the Cavs and the Hawks. So I was working on some research earlier today, and I felt like this might end up being my favorite game. Because I think both defenses absolutely suck right now,
Yep.
and we keep covering it on the Cavs. And I think something that's masking it, especially on the Cavs side, is the pace is kind of low. And another thing on the Cavs side is we're getting big, fat, juicy minutes. Darius Garland's out here giving you 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And today he gets one of the better spots that we like is guards against the Hawks. And I said it yesterday. If you're going to play 37 to 40 minutes, I'm going to be interested. And if you're going to do it against Trae Young, I'm going to be interested. And if you're going to do it as Darius Garland and a 30 to 40% assist rate, I'm going to be looking at your assists. And this morning when I looked, we had Garland at 9.5. And right now Garland is at 10 because F me, right? I'm still there. Like, I'm still okay with that because I do think he can clear that. I wish it was 9.5 still, but I should have known better. With that said, we also got Garland at 46 fantasy points. I got him at 52 in my soft projections here. So I guess I would want to talk about your thoughts on Garland's assist prop, and then I want to talk about Karis LeVert's real points. That was something like yesterday, and this isn't. I don't want this to sound like I'm point chasing. I just want this to sound like I think we appreciate what Bickerstaff is going to want from LeVert going into the playoffs. One, he's completely off of his minutes restriction, and we saw that yesterday. He played 38 minutes. He played double-digit shot attempts, and one of his more efficient shot attempts, especially from 3 for 4, racked up 32 points. And on the board, LeVert's at 18.5. That's actually gone up because I had him at 17.5 during my research for sports betting earlier. 18.5 is kind of tougher, but it's still something I can get behind. And then at 32 fantasy points, which is probably my safer landing spot for LeVert. So I do like getting some exposure to Garland assists. Maybe LeVert points, but maybe LeVert fantasy points. And then we saw Moses Brown start yesterday. And we thought that could have been a okey doke, him, Ed Davis, somebody like that instead of Kevin Love. That's exactly what happened. And then I should also point out while we're here is that this game for the Cavs is a potential fatigue game, even though that they are playing for important stuff. This is their third game in 4 nights. and it's night 2 of a back-to-back. And I think it's their 5th game in 6 nights, if I'm reading it right. 6th game in 8 nights. So they played a lot of basketball and a lot of minutes during that stretch of basketball. So something to absolutely keep an eye on. But I think Levert's or Darius Garland's minutes is really, really, really big, and I want to attack him. And his most efficient area of opportunity seems to be assists, right? He seems to be a baby Chris Paul. The Cavs, by the way, 42 and 34. They are 2 games above the Nets, 2 games behind the Raptors. So they're not nestled in cozy, but they would like to keep pace here. Meanwhile, the Hawks are in the 10 spot, and they are not likely to fall backwards 5 games to the Knicks. Not impossible, but they obviously want to keep this win streak going. So both teams have a purpose tonight. A couple floating questionable tags on the Hawks side, but let's talk about the Cavs first. Are you digging Garland, Levert?
Oh yeah, and this is a great spot. It's just like I just don't know what to do with Levert. I don't know, like, was that just a fluke game for him, or is this going to be the new trend going towards the playoffs? Because we've seen Levert be really consistent and thrive in the past, and that's what I expected from him this season, and it's just taken him a while. Maybe that game was the start of a new trend for him, like Bickerstaff said. So yeah, I guess he's taken since these 3 games. Playing a full starter minutes, around 35 minutes plus. Looks like he's taking around 15 shot attempts, getting around 4 or 5 assists. I guess fantasy would make the most sense because we just don't know. Since we have such a small sample size with him in this offense, like you probably just want to gain all the stats. And in case if you just target like say a point or assist, like he just doesn't get there because he takes over some different role. And then Garland, yeah, let's talk about Garland for a second. Like this guy, I really like him. I mean, he's in my opinion the most improved player by far. I mean, coming into that rookie season, everyone was calling him a bust, and they gotta remember, like when he played for Vanderbilt, he was coming off a major knee injury, barely played at all, and so he had no experience, and then that rookie season was pretty much a wash. And now, I mean, just like if you just see him, like yeah, he is really like Chris Paul. I think he said in the past that that's one of his big role models and someone he looks up to. And Chris Paul has even come out and said like, oh, he loves like when he goes home to watch basketball, like he likes to watch Garland. And I might be a little biased because his dad, Winston Garland, played for the Warriors back in the Tim Hardaway days.
Okay, buddy.
And yeah, I mean, I just think he's I think he's really improved, and I went back to watch some film where I wanted to see why he was getting to the free throw line so much, and he's really developed this like step back shimmy move where he basically crosses over the defender and gets to the middle of the paint a lot, and is starting to do the floater shot, really effective too. And I think he's just getting fouled a lot on that play. And that's why his assist rate's up too so much this season, because when he gets to that middle of the paint after he beats the first defender, he's making the right decision on the pass. And interestingly, he's like shooting almost 50% from his step back shot. So he's really effective off the step back shot. Now, teams are like doubling him and tripling him because like they know like the Cavs don't really have anything else. But now that Levert's in the starting unit, that makes Levert even more appealing when they trap Garland.
Yeah.
So I mean, Levert, could rack up points when Garland's getting all the attention. The one thing I'm concerned about is assists. If you go back and look at a lot of his assists on the game film, like so much came from Jared Allen and Mobley, and now he's down 2 of his like bigs that got so many assists when he would make that drive to the basket and the floater alley oops or the dump downs.
Yeah, so I that's exactly what, so I was worried about the impact of Levert being on the court with him, who can facilitate, and then worried about the absence of Allen and Mobley, some bigs that might be able to finish a lob. There's only 87 minutes of sample size of Garland, LeVert on, and Allen and Mobley off, but LeVert still has a respectable, or not LeVert, Garland still has a respectable 38% assist rate. Thank you. So it's not, it's not the 40 to 50 plus, whatever. It's not the 40 plus, but 37%, 38% in 40 minutes is nothing to shake a stick at. So I'm not ready to panic yet, but that's a reasonable concern though.
Yeah. So, I mean,
But he still has shooters, right? Marketing can finish a bucket for him, LeVert, and we saw Moses Brown yesterday in stints be efficient, and Kevin Love can finish a bucket. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's different when you're throwing in the Dean Wades and the Lamar Stevens and Oker. These guys can still finish some passes.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just but it's just not the same as like those alley oops and lanes he was just getting to Mobley and Allen.
Oh yeah, those are the freebies.
Those are freebies, and he got quite a few of those, and those were obviously contributed to those spike assist games that he would have. Since I get it for the assists, it could be a play, but since I have some concern, I'm gonna lean towards his fantasy score or his PRA, because I just want to, just in case he finishes with like 9 or 10 and it pushes or falls just short, and I want access to his points, because he's gonna thrive in this matchup again. I mean, he just dropped 30 on Trae not too long ago.
No, I think that's fair. That's probably what I was gonna get to the most is Garland fantasy points. So
it's juice.
He's
in Trae territory, 46. I mean, he's usually around 42. So
yeah, I have him at 52. The problem with that, we know he turns the ball over. So do you think his steal versus turnovers are enough?
What is he averaging? Like 1.2 steals on the season?
He's at 1.2. So if he turns the ball over 3 to 4 times, it's a wash or net negative.
Yeah, the assists are 1.5 though.
Okay, so I mean my projection is over 6 points, so like that's a starting point. I guess I go to the player props tab here, and Control F Garland. I had Garland at 36.9 PRA, so almost 37. There's no way they priced him at that, right?
No, it's at 38.5.
38.5? Oh well, it's not a significant difference, but I'm over. I'm thinking fantasy points.
Hey.
I'm thinking fantasy points. Hey. Yo, Greg, appreciate that sub, man. Welcome to the channel. You have made us so close to 7K. We need 3 subs to hit 7,000 subscribers. I think we do that today. I think we might even do it on this stream. All right, so Garland fantasy points. Same for LeVert fantasy.
I need to dive into him some more. I don't want to lead someone the wrong way without some more data or context. What did you have an early lean?
So I mean, as a starter, 30 plus minutes. We saw 38 last night. Competitive game. It's a high total, and this is 2 really, really bad defenses. Yeah. And his first couple starts. First of all, yesterday the Mavs not a bad defense, right? They're pretty scrappy. Orlando is better on paper than they should be. And then Chicago, of course, offers DeSumo, Caruso, guys like that. And he was, shot 50% from the field, gave us 28 fantasy points. So I'm somewhat interested in his fantasy, but I would rather it not be 32. But that was my early lean, was to look at him for fantasy, but potentially, let's see. Maybe not. I don't know, man. He gets us about 4 rebounds a game too in this lineup. So early lean is fantasy. Him and Garland.
When guys are gonna get big minutes, that's what I always tend to lean towards and gravitate towards is fantasy.
Okay, and then we'll get to the Hawks here, but Larry Markkinen is up at a 14.5-point prop. That's the only thing that's somewhat intriguing. Probably not getting to Okoro. On the Hawks side, let's get covered up on this Hawks news because it may not be 1-to-1 from last night. First of all, last night, a little lopsided game, wasn't it? Bogdanovic knee soreness questionable on a back-to-back. Danilo Gallinari did not play last night with a right elbow contusion. He's questionable today. And there was some speculation on whether or not last night was a strategic rest for him to be ready tonight. So keep an eye on that. So at best, we don't know who's exactly going to play. I'll say Bogdanovic has played through more Q tags lately. I think he only really missed one game with that Q tag. So I probably expect him to play. Gallo's a true questionable. Either which way, I think Trae Young's, and again, his line move too, because I actually have notes on my side screen here where I was pushing Trae Young 9.5 over. But much like Darius Garland, man, this team is heavily influenced by what he's doing and what we saw last night. So I was on Trae Young assist early, but now that it's kind of moved up a little bit, he might be a guy where I just get to fantasy points as well. And I have him at 52. I think that 52 will go up if we lose a Gallo or a Bogdan. So for that 52 to already be over the line, I'm okay to lean on that on the Trae Young fantasy points. So I'll jot that down. Trae Young fantasy. And they also have him at 3 threes. They are really expensive today. 6.5 free throws. Capella's at 11.5 points. You know, we talked about how Capella was taking all these shots out of nowhere. And then yesterday, he goes out there and he takes like 2 or 3 shots to come right back down to earth, man. 2 shots against OKC. Only played 20 minutes, but it got you those rebounds. And this Cavs front court is not the same Cavs front court as they were 3 months ago. No Allen, no Mobley, a big hit, and it shows. It not only shows in their defensive rating, which is really bad. Cavaliers defensive rating last 30 games. I think it's technically it would be fifth to 6th worst right now. 113.8. It's actually not as bad as the Hawks. The Hawks are still better in that time span. And then let's put rebound percentage in those games. A 50.6% rebound percentage in those games. So definitely an attackable spot. So if we got Gallo out, I think you could sign me up for at least Capella rebounds, but maybe Capella fantasy. Right now for fantasy, I'm getting about 30 fantasy point projection, which is actually lower than theirs. But if we got some outs, I think I might be able to tweak and spike that. And then if Bogdan was out, that obviously boosts Herter. I think from this far out, without definitive Gallo and Bogdanovic news, the only thing I want to touch, or at least get people moving towards, is a Trae Young thought. So your thoughts on Trae Young, and then I got a whole lot of chat to catch up on.
I'm totally with you on his fantasy. It's always live, and I like his assists too. Depending on the injury news, and then Capella. If those guys are out, or if Gallinari's out, I like his rebound prop.
Okay, all right. Looking at chat. What up, Greg? What picks are for today? We're working on it, Greg. If you are the type of person you're really busy or you can't watch the whole stream, just make sure you're in the free Discord. And a lot of people sharing the fire plays in that one. What up, Angel Reyes? Appreciate that follow. Welcome to the chat. Jeff says you like Trae fantasy as much as Garland. So, I mean, just from a projection standpoint, Trae Young was at 46 fantasy points. Garland was at 46. It's almost the exact same play to me because I have them both projected at 52 fantasy points. There's a 0.7 of a difference leaning towards Trae. But I guess, yes, I like them as much. So it's probably positively correlated. We're running them at each other. And like I said, both defenses really, really bad. So I'm fine with taking advantage of those two. Parker says, I made my cards earlier, and 90% of my props have gone up. Yeah, the shelf life of these props right now, I mean, obviously, in betting, lines will always move, and they're live and they're fluid, but it really feels like they've been really aggressive. Yesterday, before lock, man, every time we dropped in a card, it was like, lines have changed. It's like you have to reabsorb new lines. Just stuff would not stay put. What up, Sebastian? What's up, fellas? Followed y'all on the Davion Mitchell. Rockets players was able to hit last night. Let's go. Appreciate the info. Who's your must-have player today? So far, we haven't hit one. I'm hoping we do get to a couple locks. Definitely a little trickier today. Trickier than it looked like last night because a lot of these lines are tightening pretty hard. I love Harden points still low. Yep. Sucks being in Colorado, only having FS options. The better props are elsewhere today. FS options. What is that? Don't you guys have
fantasy score? Maybe is that what?
Oh, I was gonna say, don't you guys have sports books? If
Yeah,
you
I
have
think
sports books,
they don't have. Yeah, they don't have fantasy points though, right?
oh, just bet the player props individually on your sports books, man. It's such a better way that you should do that. Wacky gun min cash for first time at 4 slates. Let's go, baby. All right, where's the sub count? We're at 6999. I don't know if that'll focus. It's not focusing. Oh, well. One sub away from 7K. All get hype. Fantasy score. Okay. Dude, if you have access to sports books in Colorado, like you should sign up for one of them. If you have like a trusted DK, whatever, I think Colorado is legal for sports betting, right? You should be doing that instead of forcing yourself into parlays, you know? I do as well. You enjoy PrizePicks? Okay, well, I mean, you could do parlays on sportsbooks too. Anyway, where are we at? All right, Bucks at the Nets. Let's move it forward. This game right here, man. This game right here. This could be fun. The Bucks gave us a show with the Sixers the other night, and now they get the Brooklyn Nets, and they are really having their chance to make a statement here. Maybe stole one the other night, and tonight they are in Brooklyn. It's all hands on deck outside of Benjamin Simmons III, and this game should be a doozy. 243.5 is our total. We do have Giannis in, we have Middleton, we have Drew, the big three, and we got Kyrie in his third home game, and Kevin Durant. And then this front court looks like it's still going to be Andre Drummond. We haven't seen the surprise Aldridge appearance. Hopefully it doesn't happen today. Let's start with the Bucks side. On PrizePicks, the lines out there for the Bucks. We got 13 rebounds, 31.5 points. Whoa. 5 assists, 50.5 PRA, 59 fantasy points.
Whoa.
I mean, they are not playing around.
I told you this is what the playoffs are gonna look like.
Mm-hmm. Middleton, 21.5 points, 5 boards, 37 fantasy points, 2.5 threes, intriguing, 4.5 free throws. Drew Holiday is at 19.5 points, 7 assists. I swear that's gone down. I think I saw it at 7.5 earlier.
No, it's 6.5 last night.
Was it? Okay, well then I'm dumb. So it's at 7 assists, 30.5 PRA, 38 fantasy points. Brolo's down there as well. Revenge game with a half assist prop. That's fun. So where do we start here? I guess we'll talk about the Armored Titan. Not a single one of these lines is any bit of comfortable. I got him at almost 60 fantasy points, so that gives me nothing. I have him for 59.78. They have him for 59. I'm always almost like 4 to 6 points higher on like everything. Not here.
I know. I mean, I always want Giannis in these type of competitive games, but you gotta treat this like it's a playoff game and these really juiced lines. Man, it's gonna be a sweat, but it's a really high implied total with such a small spread. For me, it's a toss up between his real point and fantasy. How about you?
Yeah. By the way, 7,002 subscribers.
Let's
We
go.
out here. We out here. Appreciate that, chat. That's love. I want to cry. Yeah, I just thought there's not a single line that I feel comfortable with. Like, not one. So I think we're just going to have to same game parlay this thing and hope for chaos, right?
Yeah.
Make some positively correlated stuff. The Drew Holiday assist was intriguing to me.
Yeah.
It seemed like they all had like 25% assist rates, Middleton, Giannis, and Holiday. But Drew, it looks like lately, a little bit more of the traditional point guard role. And I think that, that kind of makes a lot of sense here. So let's put Middleton, Giannis, and Drew on the court since the All-Star break. And Drew Holiday has an assist rate of 26%. So he's actually now with a little bit more minute sample size, leads the other two by 4 or 5%. So maybe Drew Holiday assists is something we get in there, and then we could positively correlate it with something on Giannis, something on Middleton. But I think Drew Holiday assists, so I'll get behind. Did I have a specific projection on Drew that I needed to? I had him at 6.5. That's unfortunate. I'll take the 7 though. Let's see what the line is on him. Via OddsJam and Milwaukee. Are you willing to jump into this 7 assists for?
Yeah. I mean, I was on it when it was at 6.5, and it's still live. I mean, if he gets a 7 and pushes, it's still okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, what I really wanted, which I'm disappointed, is I wanted Middleton's assist prop because it usually sits around 4.5, and he'll distribute too. Like you said, they both kind of evenly distribute in the offense. So let me check. Well, let's check. Are you on OddsJam right now?
Yeah. What you need for
Can you see
Middleton?
what they have for Middleton?
Yeah, Middleton has an assist prop of 4.5, and it's heavily juiced on the over.
Man, so I mean that's probably why it's not on.
So if
board,
it came to PrizePicks, it would probably be 5 to 5.5.
Yeah, I'm also noticing that PrizePicks they're just going down the middle. They're just saying, okay, like DraftKings Sportsbook has Drew at 6.5 assists, but then FanDuel and other sportsbooks have him at 7.5. So they're just going in between.
My guess is that they just straight up copy Pinnacle. If that would be the smart thing to do.
Is that what Pinnacle has Drew at 7?
I think so. Typically, most of the copycat places that just want to use lines as a third-party service, they'll just rip from Pinnacle. Pinnacle's
But
like
those don't use whole number. Like they'll do the
The
7
hooks.
or 6.5 or 7.5. Yeah.
yeah. Not fun. All right, Nets side.
Yeah. Man, that sucks. I mean, I mean, yeah, Middleton's 3-point and maybe his assist prop if it's 4.5 or 5. But yeah, I like the net side better.
So on the Nets, two-headed monster, KD and Kyrie, probably the two guys we want to get to for real points. Kevin Durant, real points, 30 of them. Kyrie, 26, a little softer. We got Durant at 2.5 threes. We got Kyrie at 5.5 assists. That's intriguing. And then we also got some Drummond props, and I know Drummond first halves has been something that has joined the ranks of the Steven Adams, the Clint Capella first halves. Drummond's first halves have been nice as well. His full game prop is 30 fantasy points, and I think somebody in the free Discord said that they added a little bit of a tax on Drummond first half at 16, so 2 extra implied fantasy points versus the full game. 16 fantasy points for Drummond. Think about a pace-up spot. Plenty of rebounds to go around. I've got him at 40 fantasy points, so if I cut that in half, I would get the over on 20. I might be able to sign up for some Drummond first half fantasy if we really want to get down to the nitty-gritty. What do you think? We'll start with Drummond, and then we'll work our way up to Kyrie and KD. Drummond first half 16. This is definitely something he's cleared in all of his last 5 games, and he's got plenty of history against the Bucks as well. I guess we can look that up.
Yeah, that last game, he was when it was closing time and the Bucks kept fouling to try to get close, and when he would make a free throw, he would silence the crowd, and he was messing with them big time. And he's messing with the Bucks guys. Yeah, he's on one this season.
His last 2 games against the Bucks, by the way, 46 PrizePicks points and 51, and that was in November 9th of 2021. So this season, and then 46 on February 26th, so a little over a month ago.
Without Prolo, right?
Yeah.
But Serge played that game. Yeah.
16 first half, aim for the bushes.
But I mean, why not just take the full game? Like this is gonna be a good game. I mean, he's gonna play 30 plus minutes, right?
Because the nightmare the repeating nightmare that I keep having.
Yeah.
Honey, I rostered Andre Drummond. And I sit up in a cold sweat. LaMarcus Aldridge just checked into the game. What? Huh? That wasn't part of the. Aldridge is active and been DNPing. Like, why is he DNPing? He was like the 6th man for him. I just feel, and this is like one of those spots where if they needed points, I could see Aldridge. But he's been DNPing, so we got to expect it. And while I joke about that, Dwight Howard's absolutely dropping 40 tonight. There's no other way, because I'm not ever gonna touch him tonight. And the 2 times that I've faded him, he played 8 minutes, 5 minutes, and today where it makes no sense, he's gonna drop 40. It's just effing know it, bro. But no, yeah, if we want to trust the projection here. And that's all we can do. We're going to take out some of the... Because we'll be able to humanistically hate or love anything that we spin the right way. I got 40 fantasy points is 10 points above the line that they have. So I'm fine with going there. There's plenty of peripherals to be had here. And he can... He can run in some faster paced stuff. Like we've literally seen him pick 6 and he's big on steal. So I don't mind him. So, okay. You want to do the full game instead of the half?
Yeah, unless I go back and check his most recent game logs, and make sure that for any reason he's not playing more minutes in the first half than the second, or it's just by chance he just is clearing those half props in both halves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he is smoking the first half prop. Even
I assume he's smoking if the second half prop too, because I mean he's gone over what. His 30 total, the last 3. So
yeah, but at that point, if they gave us 16 first half, they're probably going to give us at least 16 second half, and they were paying 34 fantasy points, so might as well take the 10. Say the 10%.
Yeah. Let's take the discount with the full game.
Okay,
I feel pretty good.
All right. Anything on Kyrie and KD? What are we doing in between the two?
Yeah.
So the line that kind of hit me at first was the 5.5 assists for Kyrie. So I'll run a query while you do some talking just to see if that's something we can support with stats.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. So KD and Kyrie both opened last night at 5.5, and then KD was the only one to go up to 6, and Kyrie did not move. That always makes me kind of worried about. I don't know, and they're running. So with the offense lately, what they're doing is they're really trying to get Kyrie the ball and force him the ball. They've been running quadruple screens in one play to get him the ball and get him open, so he can score. And also the offense will run a lot through KD at the high post, just like how Porzingis has been doing, and that Tobias play like we've been talking about. Mm-hmm. And that's why KD's assists are up. And Seth will get assists, and then Dragic is in the mix. I'm not as heavy on Kyrie's assists, but with the amount of minutes he's gonna get in this game, probably 40 minutes, it makes sense. He's gonna have a lot of shooters around him, and this the Bucks give up the most threes, so corner 3-point shooters like like Seth and Bruce Brown in the corners, and when James Johnson's in. I mean, I I get it. I'm just not like it's not like a core
Yeah.
play for me.
Here's what I'll say is right now, when I put Kyrie, Durant, and Seth Curry on the court together, Kyrie sits at about 23% assist rate. It obviously heightens when you take off a KD or a Curry, so we would hope for a little bit of run time without one or the other. But I understand why there's a little bit of pushback. But statistically, his assist percentage is not that far behind Kevin Durant, and KD's assist
What?
props at 6, so it's essentially the same play. So I don't mind going to Kyrie. What we do know is the Bucks, kind of like the other night we talked about Harden and Embiid against the Bucks. You always kind of want to go with the guard, right? The fast pace, the guys that could chuck threes a little bit. So I do like Kyrie to have the ball in his hand quite a bit tonight, and maybe the real points at 26 is something we can get behind. Even though it's been a slow
3-point
start.
would be the 3-point would be the most ideal. I mean, that was what I wanted the most.
I
From him.
thought it was here, but I guess it's not. I was looking
No.
earlier.
We got good old Bruce Brown, 0.5. Let's get it. Just 1-3. Can you make that one corner three?
Dude, there's always a chip in a chair against the Bucks when it comes to threes.
I mean, he'll sit in the corner. He'll wait for that three. I think he made 3 of them last game against the Bucks, and he made 3 I think last night. Oh yeah. So back to Kyrie. With that Corey you ran, did you run it with Dragic on the court too?
No, not on the court. How often are they all on the court together?
They're playing a lot of minutes together.
Really?
And actually, they're closing together, and they're closing the entire fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so I can just look at the last fourth quarter. Kyrie had 1 assist, and Dragic had 1. So stalemate. KD had. There wasn't a whole lot of assisting going on. Okay. So all right, we'll stay away from the assists. There's enough. There's enough pushback. So what about scoring? I'm with you. I wish the 3-point prop was up. It's not. The current lines out there is at 3.5, and there's tax on the under. So I guess if we did get one, it would probably be 3.5. So look out for that.
Yeah, it's probably 3.5, I imagine. Yeah.
I have a 51.4 fantasy point projection on Kyrie. They have him at 42. That's a pretty decent gap.
I like that.
Okay.
Although,
Josh, be honest with me right now.
yeah.
Is there one play that gives us a warm and fuzzy today? No. No, for me, no. Last night I loved much of it, even though they were trying to okey doke us with the yeah. It's just, any slate that doesn't give me the Hornets, the Rockets, the Kings, the Pacers, like I don't know what to do with my hands, man. I'm out here, and we're never getting like great deals on these studs. So,
Well, I mean, we haven't gotten to our boy Westbrook, and we haven't gotten to Paul George, who I really like two of his props. But wait, we could find one we feel good about in this Nets matchup. So I like KD's 3-point made. I did like his 5.5 assists a lot. Can maybe still consider it.
yeah.
And then Seth Curry and Bruce Brown, I think they're definitely live for the point props. Seth, last matchup, he made 4 threes. I could see him making 3 to 4 more against the Bucks' vulnerable 3-point defense.
Mm-hmm.
And that would put him like right there at the edge. So then he just needs a couple free throws or 1 bucket. I like that 11.5
Okay,
point.
I like that. I was going to get to the okay. Maybe real points on Seth Curry can save my day.
Yeah, because it would be too good to get a 3-point prop for him in this matchup. So we're not going to get it. So we can get it via his point prop.
It's 2.5 in Vegas, and the
I would
under,
just lock that in.
well the under is where the tax is at right now. It's probably because you mentioned Dragic, right? I'm going to go back at that closing rotation. But let's see, Dragic. Nah, there's some Curry in there. They went super small, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And it also cut out Bruce Brown fourth quarter run. And this has been a thing. Let's look at Charlotte. They close. Bruce Brown didn't get many minutes in the fourth to close on with Dragic, so that's something to keep it up. Maybe we keep an eye on that, and if we get Bruce Brown's second half unders open on the board,
maybe I noticed they'll drop key bench guy props later, right before lock, so we could look out for Dragic props and see what they're at and compare them to your projections. Because if he's getting like full fourth quarter run and closing,
and the Heat game too. No Bruce Brown fourth quarter. Okay, so let's think about this then. I don't want to get to Bruce Brown bets here, but he's got a 24 fantasy point projection. I have him at 22.5. He's essentially not playing fourth quarters right now. So this is like when Capella wasn't playing fourth quarters. Do they have anything worth looking at for first half for Bruce Brown?
That's a purple.
13
fantasy.
They have 13 fantasy.
Oh, they juiced it.
They did 4.5 points. Like I don't know. Bruce Brown's definitely a PRA guy for me if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I think what I'm gonna say is hold out for Bruce Brown's second half props, right, and then jam the under.
I don't know. I really like this first half call, man. I think it's sharp.
Well, you think we're getting a good deal on fantasy?
I think so. I mean, he racks up stocks and he gets rebounds and assists. I mean, he does everything.
All right, let's do if StatMuse will corroborate this. Bruce Brown, FanDuel points by game log first half last 15 games. So the line that we're looking to beat here is 13. He missed it in the very last game against Detroit. Exceeded it in the previous 4 games. Missed it, exceeded. So,
how many minutes in those games?
So 14, 15, 14, 17, 15, 16, 18.
Okay.
So yes, he is getting it. There's a 3 here and 14 against Philly. But in the last 15 games, he did not break 13 PrizePicks points in the first half, approximately 1, 2, 3, 4 times out of 15.
All playing the same amount of minutes,
give or take. Not all. There's a 21 minute against the Knicks, but it like if you're just playing percentages, the over looks better. And obviously, there's going to be games here with Kyrie, without Kyrie, with Dragic, without Dragic. So it's not all 1-to-1, but just generally speaking, if we're just going off of the minute trend here, where he's not closing games, but he's still getting in the full first half run, yes, he's more likely to hit than miss if you go off the last 15 games. And then this being a fast-paced matchup, plenty of peripherals to be had. So maybe.
Okay, so I'm going to say I like that for Bruce Brown the most, and then secondary would be his 0.53 point made. I like rolling the dice on those.
Too crazy, man. Too crazy.
He's got to do it in the first half or third quarter, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Have we settled on a KD
Kyrie?
prop? Do we want a KD anything?
Yeah, I'm leaning 2.5
Threes?
2.5 threes. How about you?
Well, the VIG's on the under. 6, 11.
Or it's assist prop too.
2 games against the Bucks. 11. Oh, that's free throws. 4 for 10 from 3. Yikes. The free throws are intriguing. I can see free throws. But I think they've, and not just the PrizePicks, I think he's extremely expensive in the industry with his props.
Oh yeah. They text his
7
points, his
free
fantasy.
throws. But big minutes on him. And the Eastern, this isn't for first place since the Heat won yesterday. But this game is kind of worth it's worth a shot for the Bucks if they want to keep pace to maybe overtake that first seed. You know me, I'm hoping for the Sixers to meet up with the Nets here. So, but it's not meaningless, is what I'll say. and there's still a path where they could fall a little bit. So they're not locked in to be a home court advantage team in the playoffs. So I don't know.
Yep.
All right. What else we got here? We got Clippers and the Bulls. Clippers are hard to guess from this far out. Paul George came back, 31 really, really solid minutes, lots of stocks. My projections opened up at a 46 fantasy point projection on him. Wow, it's 211. What the heck? We talk a lot.
Yeah.
Chad, if you're here looking for the DFS show, it'll be here in just a couple minutes. Was there anything on the Clippers you want to take a shot on?
Real quick, yeah. Paul George, when his first came back, he was just ball hog, the main ball handler. I mean, he's gonna do. I assume he's gonna do the same thing. I like his 4.5 assist prop, and I like his 2.5 3 made. He's gonna chuck it.
Okay. And what we'll do, Chad, is, the next show we're going to break down the games all over again, so it's not really going to matter, but we'll keep these in mind. So if you stick around, we'll still talk some props.
I do like those two a lot. I think the assist prop will go up by the end of the day.
For PG?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, and Ty Lue did say that the minute cap is no longer.
Then, 4.5 assists for PG sounds really good.
Yeah, for all guys. He said they need to get playoff run or playoff ready. So they have to get the rotation right.
All right. And then this morning, sound like you kind of like the thought of Vucevic being the guy in the best matchup. Not necessarily, on paper, the highest usage versus DeRozan and LaVine. But if you put DeRozan and LaVine cross and pass, a little bit with PG, the front court, the points in the paint against the Clippers have certainly been a point of emphasis. And Vucevic has a 19.5 point projection. He's double-digit shot attempts. He also has a 39 fantasy point line. I got him at 45, so I get about a 6-point gap there. Any lines sticking out to you here?
Yeah, since I like the matchup overall, both for scoring and rebounding, maybe maybe it's fantasy or PRA.
All right, cool. We'll jot
It's a great
that.
rebounding spot for him. I mean, the Clippers are really bad.
All right, we'll do that. And then that's it, right? We want to get to that last game and we'll wrap up.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Before we do that,
Let's talk
chat. So a couple things, chat. We're going to be right back with another stream. We're going to talk about the Jazz game. But if you guys want to unlock the prop detector, that's the premium perk of having a sub at rundfs.com. The player prop projections, that type of stuff. I'll have a ton of DFS premium content. A lot of this is easily transitionable to prop betting, and we have the specific player prop tab with my projections there. And the prop detector, you look at what we did yesterday. You follow me on Twitter, or if you're in the free Discord, or you just watch the channel, pretty good. If you guys want that, if you're in a bind, you can't do the full bore research every day. You get a subscription at rundfs.com. Find something that's right for you. We got the MLB pass up for another day or two, I believe. That'll get you locked until October 5th. It's not just for baseball, it's for all sports. So go to rundfs.com, get in there. Once you do upgrade, click VIP portal, click the premium Discord link, and get the spreadsheets. If you got questions, we've got answers. And then, of course, we have the free Discord. So be sure you're in the free Discord because it's literally free 99. Link in the description below. Lakers and the Jazz. Lakers are going to be without LeBron, likely without Anthony Davis. It's going to be Russell Westbrook and the last of the Mohicans taking on the Utah Jazz. And while it is unlikely that they win this game, heavily unlikely, they at least have incentive to come out here and win because they are on the, tied again with the Spurs after the Spurs. And was it Keldon Johnson that missed that layup at the end of yesterday's game? Unfortunate. Yep. That layup really might be the reason they don't make the play, and that sucks. The Lakers, if they lose, though, I think the Spurs retake the tiebreaker. But the funny thing about that is the Lakers play the Pelicans tomorrow, and then they could have AD, LeBron, and Westbrook there. So every win matters, and you wonder if they full punt tonight or they go out here and try to steal one in Utah. Because for what it's worth, Utah has lost 5 in a row, and they're having a problem getting right. Well, we saw the Lakers use this punt squad against Dallas. It was not pretty. Russell Westbrook will lead the team in usage, probably lead the team in fantasy points, and kind of like I called out against Dallas, You look at this collection of names that they've put out. If it's not Malik Monk, then who? And in Dallas, it was Malik Monk. So those are probably the only two lines I'd be looking at. Like I said, Dwight Howard, I know he's going to go off today. It's written destiny for him to go off after I finally trust him again. So those are two names I want to touch on, Westbrook and Monk, and then maybe lead me into the Jazz, and then we'll get out of here. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I'm interested in Westbrook PRA. It didn't go up as much as I thought it would. It's still around 34.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. The Jazz defense is just not the same. I know they play better at home, but yeah, they're just not the same unit right now. They're getting torched lately. And then Monk. I need to go through and see with LeBron off how many threes he's taking, but his 2.5 3-point prop is very, very intriguing because the Lakers with this unit, they're going to be playing from behind.
Yes.
And he's gonna be the primary shooter besides Melo, so he's gonna chuck it. I assume he's gonna take a lot of threes. I mean, how many did he make last game?
I want to say 6, but don't quote me.
Okay, so I assume he took a lot.
Yeah, he was 6 to 10. Why did I know that? What?
Anyone that's getting double-digit 3-point attempts up,
yeah, that's
that's
and just to touch on your point, Utah Jazz will shoot the most threes in the league to help them get ahead. They also have Rudy Gobert as a stopper up front, Bruce Wendell. So game script, like NFL, you're gonna be passing the ball more, you're gonna be shooting the ball more from beyond the arc, and Malik Monk is probably that guy to do it. So I'm with you. 2.5 threes sounds like the game theory play.
Yeah, I like it. What do you feel about pairing it with Westbrook's 6.5 assists instead of Westbrook's PRA?
6.5 assists. Well,
I just assumed that like the funnel defense of the Jazz with Gobert being down in the paint, Westbrook is not gonna have as many scoring opportunities as he normally would.
I have Westbrook at 7.4 assists, so I would say yes. The caveat here is this is based on 37 minutes, and I'm not sold that he actually is 37 minutes. Because, but yes, I projection-wise, I'm on the over.
I mean, you know how he feels about Utah and those fans.
He just don't like fans, man. Fans are pretty ruthless to him.
But especially in Utah, man.
Utah. You ready for a bing bong?
Okay, yeah. So,
want to do a bing bong? A bing bong. Bing bong. Bing bong.
Zubac under 9.5. Brown over 9.5. Points, of course.
So Zubac 9.5, Bruce Brown 9.5 points. No, over. Zubac under 9.5, Brown over 9.5 points. What do you think? Brown 9.5.
I like the Brown earlier, but now looking through the recent rotation trend, kind of nervous that he's not closing. Or he's not even touching the court in the fourth quarter, right?
A little bit later. There's a couple minutes, but it's neither one of those were something that was on my notes.
I would do the first half. I would cut that 9.5 to 4.5.
Okay, that's smart. If you think Brown goes over, probably take the first half, get the 9 cut in half to what is it? Would it be 4.5, 5? That's probably I like that. And I didn't have a strong lean on Zubac, but if you're saying they're going to start releasing the Hounds on the minute restriction, I guess I don't know. He hasn't been playing deep minutes anyway, and this is a fully healthy Clippers team where Covington can come in, play some center. They still have Hartenstein, so I guess the under is still very much live. What do I have on Zubac for real points? I have Zubac at 8.3, so my projections lean the under. So I wouldn't talk off of that. I'm with that. Appreciate that $2 dono, Adam. Just killing it this month with the donos. What up, EB? 2 games versus. All right, so let's recap real quick, and then we'll get out of here for the DFS show.
Yep.
So here's what I wrote down: Darius Garland fantasy points, Karis LeVert fantasy points, Trae Young fantasy points, Andre Drummond fantasy points, Malik Monk over 2.5 threes. I didn't type up Westbrook 6.5, but we just mentioned that. Tobias Harris fantasy points. This is the fringish area, fringe-ish. Is that a word?
Slash 2.5 assists.
Okay. James Harden, real points. Embiid rebounds. Cunningham, 6.5 assists. Kyrie, 42 fantasy points. Bruce Brown, first half. Vucevic, fantasy or PRA. And then Westbrook, 6.5 assists.
Yeah. And,
Did I miss something?
Did you say Paul? You got all Paul.
I didn't say Paul George, but we'll have
Yeah,
to
so
add.
2.5 threes and 4.5 assists. And then
You want the
Donovan
George
Mitchell-
the threes or the assists? Wait, let me see.
I like both.
Okay. So Paul George. Would you say this is above fringe?
I think so. Just do
Okay.
the matchup. I mean,
Yeah.
the Bulls since All-Star break defense has just been so bad,
Okay.
and he's gonna ball hog.
And then Thomas Pruitt. I see that he said Clint rebounds. We want to be there. We just want the Gallo news, right?
Yep.
And then Bogdanovich is questionable, but he has played through Q-Tag, so I'll admit that.
And then the Jazz guys we didn't mention. Donovan Mitchell, his 25.5 could be a mid tier. I'm interested in his 1.5 block steal, and same goes for Gobert. They have him up at 2.5 block steal against the Lakers.
Bro, is the press in the room? Are you hiding from the police, dog?
Oh no, I'm writing on.
Yeah, you're away from the mic. I was like, what? Yeah, look at the pencils, putting the pencils to work. All right, what was it, Mitchell? Donovan Mitchell points? Is that what you're saying?
Points or it's 1.5 block steal, and then maybe Gobert's 2.5 block steal. He just hasn't been getting the stocks lately, but it's the Lakers.
It is like 14 rebounds.
Season average, isn't it?
Yeah, that's nuts. Chat, we gotta get out of here, but we're gotta get out of here, but we don't. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. But you can stay here, and it'll send you to the new one. We're gonna restart our breakdown from a DFS point of view, keeping PrizePicks in mind. Make sure you're in the free Discord. Link in the description below. I appreciate you guys for 7K. We'll celebrate that in just a couple minutes, man. Get yourself refreshed. Go to the bathroom. Get a drink. Come on back. The grind don't stop. If you are out of here, good luck. God bless. Go win some money.
I don't think we'll ever get Donovan Mitchell 3-point competition.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Because, I mean, are you worried about